Hello, good evening, everyone. My name is Sandra Esinam Apenu, and I'm here for business. Now, following Joy Business's expose on carbon emission from some factories within the Free Zones Enclave at Tema, some of the factories were subsequently ordered by the Environmental Protection Agency, the EPA, to shut down. But a visit back to the area has revealed only one out of the two factories has heeded to this directive by the EPA. Here's a report by Charles Aite.
This smoke that we are seeing over here is not just a mere smoke. It's a smoke that contains poisonous substance that is detrimental to our health.
The other time I went to the hospital, I make a lab and the doctor was complaining about why I used to burning something. I said no, but I think they say there's a lot of smoke on me and things. Yeah.
Concerns from some steel factory workers at the Free Zones Enclave, who shared with us how the emission of smoke there is endangering their lives. These are the words from the Deputy Director of the Environmental Protection Agency, Ebenezer K. Apasampo, after seeing some videos of full-scale air pollution by some steel factories within the Free Zones Enclave at Tema. These videos and sounds we captured earlier contained, among others, life-threatening conditions factory workers there go through each and every day. Few days after the report was aired, EPA ordered the shutdown of two steel factories, United Steel and Bridal Steel, with immediate effect. Following the directive, Joy Business followed up to verify whether the companies were complying by this directive. To our surprise, only Bridal Steel had complied with the directive. T.P. Patnaik is Managing Director of Bridal Steel.
I know it's a smoke, it will come out. I'm burning scrap, I'm actually cleaning up the environment by picking up all the scrap from the everywhere. But yes, it is generating smoke, and that's why we're cleaning up with using the secondary system. My primary system now takes about 60% of my smoke. This secondary system will actually complete it to 80, 90%, 90% plus of the smoke collection.
Some publications have shown that the presence of chemicals, particulates or biological compounds in the atmosphere can harm human and animal health and damage the environment. However, despite efforts by regulators including the EPA, the situation still persists. Ghana ranked 124 in the 2018 Environmental Performance Index (EPI), which ranks 180 countries on environmental health and ecosystem vitality. What this means is that the country has performed poorly when it comes to being environmentally safe. But the EPA maintains much is being done.
You need to apply various solutions, okay? When it comes to the electronic part of it, there's a whole act that has been, with the regulations that was done in 2016.
For these factory workers, drastic measures must be taken to not only save our environment, but also protect the lives of the persons inhaling such toxic gases. Charles Aite reporting for Joy Business.
In other news tonight, some energy experts are stressing the need for efficient data collection to address waste and other power distribution challenges in the country. Program coordinator of Laboratory for Interdisciplinary Statistical Analysis at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, Professor Atinuke Olusola Adimbaji, says a lot more needs to be done to make power distribution effective.
World Bank collection of development indicators compiled in 2011 indicates reported electric power transmission and distribution losses in Ghana hit 22,638,000 megawatts per hour. In 2014, the figure stood at 22.59%. Its highest value over the past 43 years was 28.83 in 2003, with the lowest value of 1.99 in 1999. Professor Adibaji says predictive data is essential in spate of population growth.
Predictive modeling is very important because you need to be able to plan ahead. If you're not able to predict within reasonable margins of precision what the demand will be, how do you plan for it? How do you plan for customer products? How do you make such plans? So it's predictive modeling is one key area that you have to be able to work with. How does my previous consumption, how does it determine what I'm going to expect to provide to my customers, given the population dynamics that we're also experiencing in some locations?
Dean of Fiscal and Computational Sciences at KNUST College of Science, Professor Kwesi Preko, advised service providers to carry out routine tree trimming exercises backed by data. Professor Preko believes it will help curb power cuts resulting from incessant falling of trees on electrical transmission lines.
If trees are the problem, then we need data on trees. Where have the trees reached? Which trees are causing trouble? And then there should be routine, regular tree trimming exercises. When we do these things, then we'll give priority to certain areas over others. This will help us solve the problem.
The center is facilitating the training to promote collaboration between researchers and policymakers. Pro-Vice Chancellor of KNUST, Professor Rita Okusia-Dixon, says the university is working to close the gap between academia and industry. The three-day program was organized for 30 Information Management System staff of PDS Ghana.
Because now we're going to be trained on data. So once you have the data, you'll be able to make an informed decision, and then you communicate that to the customer. So they should expect an improved.
Reporting for Joy Business, Kwesi.
Meanwhile, CEO of Gasop Oil Limited, Kojo Poku, says given the country's present financial situation, it will be prudent to settle debt owed the independent power producers. He was speaking on the business edition of PM Express on Joy News last night with Philip Namfuri.
In the long term, there are some companies that we're going to end up paying them maybe 1 billion. But now, if you let them go, you're going to pay penalty. And that penalty, you can pay it now, so your net present value of that cost in the long term is better. Because basically they go off your books and you don't have to accumulate that long term. But the Ghana situation that we find ourselves in is that at present time, we don't have money. We owe these IPPs that we can't even afford to find money to pay their bills. So if Ministry of Finance, and he mentioned earlier that, look, at the Ministry of Finance, they are creating some problems there. You have ministers at the Ministry of Finance trying to take over the Energy Ministry and make decisions that, for me, I think they should leave it for the Ministry of Energy to make. Ministry of Finance are there to work out the financing. If they need technical expertise, they should let the Ministry of Finance people, Ministry of Energy, give them the technical expertise, but they should not stray into the areas where now you have certain times where you have cabinet decisions where Ministry of Finance is holding it back because they are playing finance with it. My point is this: if you have the money, then what Ben's saying makes sense. You have $300 million, you've paid all the indebtedness to the power sector, and you feel that, look, how do I move forward? Let me now let some of them go, find money, pay them $200 million to terminate their agreement. Then in the long term, I save myself $800 million maybe over 4 or 5 years. But if you don't have the money, and you have to now do then you now have to do baby steps by managing it as it is, because if you ask that guy to go now, you have to pay him $200 million.
In a related development, the Ministry of Finance has released 200 million cedis to the Electricity Company of Ghana to settle part of its indebtedness to the independent power producers.
The Ministry of Finance has released an amount of 200 million Ghana cedis to the Electricity Company of Ghana to settle part of its indebtedness to the independent power producers. Disbursement of the amount, which was done on Wednesday according to the Chamber of Independent Power Producers and Bulk Consumers, is expected to begin immediately among IPPs in the country. Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia has disclosed the distribution of premix fuel to fishermen across the country is to be digitized by the end of August this year. The Vice President, according to the Ghanaian Times, says this will improve efficiency in the distribution of the fuel and do away with middlemen. The Kumasi City Markets Limited, managers of the new KJTIA market, are almost through with the preparations for the relocation of traders to the ultra-modern facility. A symbolic ceremony to present relevant and valid documents to deserving traders aimed at facilitating their movement to the new facility took place on Thursday.
Wrap of local news summaries bringing us to the end of the first part of business, but when I come back, we'll be going to Cairo to look at the business of the game. Hello again, welcome back to Joy News Prime, and I'm here for the second half of business. Before we go to the Bridal Fair, I want to take you to Cairo in Egypt to talk about the business side of the games. Now, the African Cup of Nations has always been thought to be an event that is not lucrative for participating nations. This is because the prize money for the winner, which is $4.5 million, is seen by many analysts as not enough to justify the amount teams spent to participate in the tournament. However, Gary Smith has been speaking to an Algerian analyst who thinks otherwise.
So this is the River Nile, the cradle of civilization, or part of the story, they say. And it's pretty interesting that that is where Egypt takes a lot of its tourist potential from. On both sides of the Nile, the African Cup of Nations has become a focal point for discussion because the countries across the Nile and around the Nile are gathering for a festival of football. And Ghana has gotten out of the tournament, meaning that Ghana may have lost something. However, several other countries in the competition are looking to exploit the economic benefits of the African Cup of Nations. Here with me is my colleague, Mahem Zahi. He's Algerian, and lucky him, his country are in the semi-final, meaning that they are going to reap an economic windfall and all that. Thank you for joining us on Joy News.
Thanks for having me on.
Right, so what does it mean for Algeria to advance beyond the football?
I mean, beyond the football, it's been a really tough year in Algeria, politically speaking. Every week we're having protests, anti-government protests, and the people have really suffered for quite a long time. So I think that on top of the sporting achievement, I think people in Algeria really want to win this title, and the players really want to win it for the people who have had a tough year.
Right. Money-wise, let's talk money. We know that the semi-finalists, for Ghana, because they got out of the round of 16, they are going to get $700,000. But for Algeria, well, the money is bigger.
Definitely, 2.5 million so far as the semi-finalists, and hopefully the prize money has been increased as I understand. If we can win this competition, we might be able to bank 4.5 million for the federation. Some of this money I hear is being dished out as bonuses to the players, but it's also going to be recycled, put into the infrastructure of the footballing infrastructure of the respective countries. So the further you advance in this competition, the better it is for football in the country as a whole.
What do you say to those who feel that countries like in my country, Ghana, there's a huge debate about whether the money they put in for preparation is, it's a reflection of how much they make out even if they win the tournament. Do you have a similar debate like that in Algeria?
We don't really, and I think there's a general consensus. There's an understanding that the investment almost always pays off. You might not see the results right away, but if you put the right amount of money into preparation, even if it doesn't work for this tournament or the next tournament, at least you're setting about a context of professionalization, and I think that in the long run is going to be better for the national team.
For the Algerian economy, I know that thousands of Algerian fans are looking to fly into Egypt for the semi-final. Economically speaking, how is this going to impact the Algerian economy back home and also here in Egypt?
Yeah, so for travel agencies, this AFCON has been incredible. They've managed to sell lots of different packages with hotels, transportation, and match tickets as well. And they've been using Instagram influencers to sort of sell these packages. And they managed to get 2,500 supporters over here by themselves. Wow. Now, the Algerian government, before the quarterfinal, actually added an extra 1,100. They subsidized these tickets so that Algerian supporters would only have to pay the equivalent of 150 euros to fly to Egypt, get a match ticket, and fly back. But we expect, as Algeria continues to progress into these semifinals and perhaps hopefully the final, we expect more and more supporters to show up. And that's, again, only positive for the local Egyptian economy, but maybe also for travel agencies in Algeria.
Fantastic. So the story of the African Cup of Nations is not just about the football. For the final four, we've got Tunisia and Algeria, and we've also got Senegal and Nigeria, a West African and a Northern African affair. Gary Smith for Joy Business.
it's certainly not only about the game, but it's huge business as well. Thanks so much, Gary Smith, for that interesting conversation. Now, it's day 2 of the Joy, Beauty and Bridal Fair, and as usual, a lot of patrons are cashing in on some good deals at the 16th edition of the event at the Accra International Conference Center. Sheila Tamaklo was there for us and brought us this report.
With lots of discounts and special packages for best deals to plan their special day, patrons who thronged day 2 of the Joy, Beauty and Bridal Fair were really excited.
I just came here to just look around to see if I'll find some wonderful wedding planners. Who knows? Mine will be soon, so I'm impressed. It's wonderful. There are so many vendors here, so many to choose from.
It's nice. I'm enjoying everything. I like everything I'm seeing. It's nice. I think next year I will take part, and by next year I'm sure my wedding should be out of everything I saw and learned here.
From decor to gowns and suits, makeup to accessories, everything is available at the Beauty and Bridal Fair. Vendors present encourage more patrons to come and be part of the special offers for them.
We want to sort of shift away a bit from the contemporary classic wedding cakes and show people that, you know, wedding cakes could also have its own style and also have its own couture sort of thing. So that's some of the samples we've done here. Though they are wedding cakes, but they also have their own, you know, expression, adding to your wonderful day. And in addition to wedding cakes, we also do cakes for all occasions. For today, all the desserts are discounted. And anyone who also sort of has a chat with us for their forthcoming wedding or functions or anything gets a discount up to about 15% of the total cost.
And what we do is we make handmade stationery, mobile furniture, and home accents. So as you can see over here, these are our notebooks, the African themed notebooks. They're covered in wax print. We have them customized for different occasions, and everybody wants the occasion to be that special. So what we do is we will print anything on the cover that you want, or we can just customize with inserts and stuff like that. Everything is discounted here because we're a wholesale production unit. So
the Beauty and Bridal Fair continues till Sunday with special marriage seminars and talks. For Joy Business, Sheila Tamaklo reporting.
Please do pass through the Accra International Conference Center to be part of the Joy, Beauty and Bridal Fair. It ends on Sunday. Now, almost all the major commodities made some significant gains to close the week on the commodity market. Crude oil, for instance, made 34-cent gain to trade at $66.86 a barrel, while gold went for $1,409.47 an ounce. Let's head to the commodity market now. South Africa's Treasury will unveil plans later this month to provide more financial support to state-owned power utility AFCON SOC Holdings Limited. I have details plus more other stories coming up in international news.
South Africa's Treasury will unveil plans later this month to provide more financial support to state-owned power utility AFCON SOC Holdings Limited. The proposals for funding this year and next will be announced in a special appropriations bill on July 23. Additional funding is also being planned for South African Airways, the state broadcaster and arms manufacturer Denel SOC Limited. Senegal denounces double taxation agreement with Mauritius and threatens to abandon the deal. Senegal could leave the double taxation treaty signed with Mauritius in 2002. According to President Macky Sall, Senegal has lost more than $250 million in tax revenue to its partner in 17 years. Volkswagen and Ford have said they will work together on developing self-driving and electric cars in an attempt to reduce cost on new technologies. VW plans to invest $2.6 billion in Ford's self-driving unit, which is valued at $7 billion. The move comes after the duo said in March they would build vans together.
It's Friday, enjoy your weekend, but while you do that, check our stories on our website, myjoyonline.com/business. My name is Sandra Esinam Apenedu. Enjoy your weekend.